You believe you understand what being a man of high value, don't you walk through existence believing that the world owes you a good thing. A woman will honor you, encourage you, and enhance your life. But allow me to ask, warrior, when was the last time you did something? Time you actually examined your relationship? When did you most recently stepped back and inquired, is this woman worth my time, effort, and life? In a society where males are misinformed, feelings that impair judgment, and where we ignore the warning indicators that are immediately. The reality in front of us is, no woman, no of how lovely or endearing possess the ability to ruin your tranquility, hinder your development or deplete your strength. This is the terrible truth you have to face. Are not only present to serve as a companion but to live your life as your empire, lady. This video will reveal the 10 clues that you should break up contact with any woman, even your spouse, provided you respect yourself and you are not weak on your Stoic journey. Rather, you are not throwaway, and no woman ought to make, before we fight, you feel less than a warrior. First, remember to like the video and sign up for the Warrior channel, because the beginning of your journey to wisdom. Now that she continuously treats you disrespectfully, respect for warriors is the foundation of any connection, and without it, you're nothing. When a lady continuously disrespecting you is more than just a red flag. Flag is an obvious indication that your disrespect that is devalued can take many constitutes public humiliation by ignoring your thoughts that keep getting in the way of you or even criticizing you in a negative way. These acts may appear insignificant to others. First, but they gradually weaken your assurance, tranquility, and sense of self-worth. Now consider whether a high-value man can put up with persistent disrespect from anybody, much less a spouse who is intended to encourage him. The response is, quite simply, disrespect isn't just regarding the way she acts or speaks to you, it's about how she sees you around you. If she doesn't respect you as a guy, leadership, your principles, or your objectives, not only is she damaging the relationship, as well as your capacity to develop personally. Keep in mind the Marcus Aurelius's advice, if you're hurt by things outside of themselves, but it's not that bothers you, but your own estimation of them. It's not the actual disrespect. It makes you weaker by enabling it to persevere. A Stoic guy is aware of his worth and requests respect without using coercion or rage, but by setting firm limits. If she consistently violates those, dear warrior, it's time to break off relations and defend your honor, which you owe to abandon oneself, because no lady is worth giving up your tranquility and self. Regarding number 2, she frequently tells you lies. Know of how minor the betrayal of trust is, the cornerstone on which without it, no relationship can be formed. The moment a lady lies to you, everything falls apart. You constantly remind me that it's not only about the lie itself, focuses on what it reveals. A dishonest woman is either attempting to persuade you to escape responsibility, or how do you hide her genuine intentions? Create a life with a solitary person. Behind lies, warrior comprehends. This deception is more than just a betrayal of trust, is an indication of deeper roots. A man of high value doesn't show disrespect. Accept dishonesty, since he recognizes the terrible force it possesses, generate uncertainty, insecurity, and force you to doubt all of her statements, or imagine wondering all the time if she are sincere, or whether her behavior is in line with reality, which isn't a relationship, is a prison of the mind. Stoics instilled in us the value of living in accordance with the truth, and truth, according to virtue Seneca, never. If she lies to you, it's a death sentence, representation of her personality rather than yours. A woman who values you will pick integrity, even when it's challenging, since she cherishes your relationship. But if she chose to demonstrate dishonesty over truth, you know exactly who she is, so trust her. Don't squander your energy. Behave appropriately, attempting to expose or defend her lies. Her behavior is not pursued by a stoic man. The reality is either there or it's not. If she is unable of being truthful, warrior, because she is not deserving of your attention and energy, leave, not because they're angry, but because of a profound regard for oneself. Let her lie. Honesty is not negotiable. Be the factor that leads you to select freedom over. She no longer supports the third untruth. Your journey as a man's growth warrior is one of continuous development, that you aim to be better each day, to broaden your horizons, bolster your body and improve your character. But what occurs when your companion stops endorsing that development? It's a betrayal of much than just your connection, but of your purpose as a partner who is stoic and doesn't support your development and you're being pulled away from the man you are bound to be seen as. Thus, a high-value women are your allies, not your enemies. She should encourage you to overcome your opponent. Challenges motivate you to pursue your aspirations and acknowledge your successes. However, it's mocking if she rejects your aims, your goals, or remains unconcerned. She displays her actual self to your efforts. Nature, a companion who doesn't rejoice, a partner who is afraid of your growth. Your success can make her feel threatened, self-conscious of her own lack of drive, or satisfied with mediocrity, regardless of her lack of support is evident for this reason. Indicate that she doesn't share your epicus, sagely stated that the secret is to spend time with only positive individuals. You, whose presence inspires your greatest, a woman who stifles your development does conversely. She depletes your vitality and inhibits your ability to think of great throughout history. Men who accomplished brilliance as a result of their surrounding themselves with those who motivated them, not the people who hindered them. You have an obligation to safeguard your trajectory if she is unable to stand by your side. When you climb, she will just pull you along. Don't allow love make you blind to the stoic man is aware of the harm she is causing, knowing when to let go, even if it causes you pain. Growth is a must for warrior protection. Even if it requires chopping, she takes you for granted, binds for. Gratitude is the strong bonding agent. Connections, when a woman begins to, she no longer takes you for granted, appreciates the work you put out, your sacrifices, time and effort. All of it doesn't seem to matter anymore, implies and demands things without ever taking a moment to recognize or value. There is poison in this behavior warrior. That develops into anger and wrath and irritation. Consider why a valuable man would put up with such abuse. You have developed into a guy of your actions are a man of principle and purpose, are thoughtful and purposeful in your decisions, and your unshakable commitment. If she cannot appreciate the value of these attributes, what does that indicate about how she saw you? The Stoics Seneca observed that he believed in reciprocity. Whoever is gratefully given a favor pays back his debt's initial installment. The foundation of a healthy relationship is reciprocal gratitude and effort. But when a woman shows that she takes you for granted, that she no longer finds worthwhile what you offer, is a subdued version of disdain, a silent deterioration of the foundation that you two have constructed. Deserve to be loved by someone who acknowledges your sacrifices and encounters them with a woman of her own, who disregards you and will just keep doing so as long as you permit it to stop. Stop making excuses for her actions. Using a stoic man to defend her lack of gratitude, he values himself too highly to put up with imbalance. If she doesn't recognize your value, it's time to leave, warrior, with your held in the head. Give her a high five. She doesn't exhibit any loyalty. is the foundation of any significant warrior's connection. Without love is a delicate object with a hollow shell that breaks out under the strain of time and difficulties. When a woman is unfaithful, she exposes a weakness in her personality that no quantity of affectional compromise or your forgiveness is not the only way to repair loyalty. About staying true in the tangible feeling that it's about supporting you during difficult times, safeguarding your name and respecting your relationship. What does a woman's decision mean? To violate your confidence, it may be by betrayal, by disclosing your secrets to others, or declining to stand up for you when people criticize you for these behaviors. Are indications of disloyalty, although they are flagrant, disrespectful actions that Stoics recognized, that treachery is a representation of the betrayer's principles rather than Marcus Aurelius stated that the victim's value. The soul is infused with the hue of if her behavior indicates that she's being unfaithful or unreliable is due to. Her soul is devoid of the qualities required to maintain a deep and meaningful relationship at a high-value man, views loyalty as unchangeable. Without it, there would be no base on which to construct a partnership when she is unfaithful. You have to be merciless in your response, immediately. Severed ties for an unfaithful spouse will only cause trouble and shame into your life. Don't let it to feelings. Impair your judgment instead of allowing. Your path is guided by virtue, and reason deserves someone to support you. Side of the person who doesn't undercut you at each and every music. She makes you feel weak, warrior, at age 6. A genuine relationship ought to be a source of fortitude and inspiration, not someone who undermines your self-esteem and makes you question your own abilities. It's not a woman who makes you feel weak, not just a temporary problem. It's a serious, unbalanced partnership that requires your attention. It's not a weakness. Physical strength is usually the focus. Regarding your feeling of direction, your steadiness of your emotions, and your mental explicitness. If she continuously abandons you, you have to question her if you feel diminished function in your life. How does she weaken you? It could be by continuously criticizing and dismissing your accomplishments, or contrasting you with other males in a profoundly hurtful manner. Maybe she questions your authority in the public, challenges your choices, or minimizes your private efforts. These actions sow doubtful seeds, destroying your inner strength in your mind. You've developed via years of self-control and tenacity. A man of high worth needs acknowledge these because they are conscious efforts to dominate or denigrate. Marcus Aurelius's teachings. You are in control of your thoughts, not external circumstances. Recognize this, and you will discover strength, yet even the strongest. The mind cannot flourish in a setting where it is continuously targeted. As a woman who gives you a sense of weakness is not. She is hindering your growth instead of fostering it. This is manipulation rather than affection. A Stoic man is aware that in order to safeguard his peace, he must occasionally be severe. Choices, even if they cause pain in the hallmark, is the short-term strength of a spouse, and a Stoic man who weakens it and makes it unworthy of walking. You are not supposed to spend time next to you. Spend days proving your value to cut ties with someone who doesn't see it. With a female warrior like that, not out of spite, but out of self-respect and the values you uphold in your actions, so that you recover your strength and that it is kept safe for people who actually worth. She disregards your boundaries at 7. Boundaries form the basis of any powerful bond. Warrior, they're not arbitrary regulations that serve as safeguards for your physical, mental, and emotional health. Of a lady who continuously disregards your limits is a woman who disregards your independence or your craving for privacy and uniqueness, that she believes that your wants and needs are not as legitimate, but as something to disregard. Trodden underfoot or manipulated is not merely a small matter. This is an obvious disregard for your masculinity. You might wonder why she would do this. She doesn't care that warrior is the truth. Her behavior demonstrates her greater concern. More about her personal convenience than your well-being. She might push your limits to gauge her ability to push before you break, or she might do it because she doesn't respect you as much as you ought to be respected. And let me tell you, if you permit it to go on, you are letting her know that you're okay. Tell her that you're comfortable. Peace is more important to her than you are. Whims consider the Stoic thinkers, men who suffered from slavery, such as Epicus, but never let anyone tell him what to do. Inner tranquility, he recognized the strength of when someone crosses their own personal limits outside your bounds, they deprive you of power. The Stoic warrior remains unwavering. Despite this, he remained steadfast in his nose when someone is attempting to invade his time, his space, and his concentration, and when that occurs, there isn't. You can't be a man if you have any space for compromise. Of virtue, a man with a mission. If you allow someone keeps crossing your boundaries, a valuable woman who recognizes the importance of respect will be aware of your boundaries, and she will respect them. If she doesn't, you have to. Regardless of how difficult the choice is, make it. May appear to leave, severing connections with someone who is incapable of honoring your setting limits is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it's strength, knowledge, and self-preservation. She's never concerned about your requirements. Allow me to ask you, how many times have you placed this warrior, putting her needs ahead of your own, your energy, time, and desires? And however, when you reflect about how many she has occasionally shown genuine interest in, a lady who never takes the initiative is what you need. Take some time to think about what you need, physically, psychologically, or emotionally. A lady who does not consider you a partner, she considers you to be a tool that she is not curious about the depths of your being. She wants to know what you can provide. This dynamic is dangerous to her. The Stoics believed in warriors. Reciprocity in mutually beneficial connections, respect for common objectives, and a fair exchange. They were aware that it was accurate. Romantic, family, or other relationships, or platonic, are constructed using the realizing that both parties are observed. Marcus Aurelius was recognized and heard, even as emperor recognized the significance of respecting people. He never allowed his position to blind him to those people's humanity. You are a human person with him around. Your own intricate requirements, wants, and objectives. If she is unable to perceive that, then take the time to comprehend you. How do you actually feel about the relationship? Because are you only offering consolation? An attendant to her emotional caprices with, remember this, there is no reciprocity in sight. A high-value lady respects you for who you are. Go beyond what you can do for her. She spends time getting to know you, pay attention to your worries, and to be as you are for her, and she is for you. She doesn't just appear when she's in need. She appears when you need something. If she's not interested in she is not a woman who genuinely respects you, warrior, and you have to understand that your needs are important. Wants are important, and if she doesn't tell them that it's time to cut, she chooses drama above serenity in tie 9. I have a question for you, warrior. How she frequently chooses chaos over peace. Resolution of a dispute. A lady who is a woman who enjoys drama but doesn't recognize the importance of calm and tranquility is regarded by Stoics as sacred peace, is something we make for ourselves, not something we await from outside sources, situations. But when she consistently pulls you into pointless disputes, emotional turmoil, and trivial disputes, she's ruining your tranquility in this manner. An ongoing disturbance is a silent killer. To your focus and mental clarity, it's like an unrelenting storm that drowns discovering your inner serenity as a man adhering to Stoic ideals, that we acknowledge that we only have so much time and energy. Why would you waste resources on drama? There is just one purpose for warrior drama. Intended to divert your attention from your intentionality, it draws you away from your objectives, from the life you were destined to follow, the high-value road of virtue. Women are aware of this and comprehend the significance of serenity, clarity, and they don't contribute logical thinking, unneeded words that cause chaos in your life. They promote harmony, peace, and the strength to overcome obstacles as a team. Additionally, Stoics advise us that we ought to steer clear of items that upset our inner peace. Seneca, the renowned Stoic thinker, stated that we suffer more frequently in imagination as opposed to reality. Drama is nothing more than a mental construct and perceived cause of discomfort that must exist if you don't give it permission to. A dramatizing lady is not just, she is polluting your peace by ignoring it. And if she keeps taking this route, you need to be in charge of your life and leave for your own tranquility and personal development. And a partnership for the future should uplift you rather than deplete you if she can't comprehend it. Then it's necessary to cut chapter 10. She drains your vitality. Warrior it, your most valuable resource, is restricted, not boundless, and one after it is used up, it can't be restored just as quickly. When a lady constantly saps your vitality, she is stealing something from you that you cannot afford to reveal. Thus she might this psychologically, emotionally, or even physically challenging your love, care, or time, without ever restoring what she takes from. A man who is Stoic recognizes that his energy needs to be concentrated on his goals, development, and you can't afford to give it to him away without restriction to someone who doesn't. Ask yourself, warrior, in return, have you frequently been worn out? How many times have you spent time with her? Have you ever felt exhausted after hearing her grievances or providing to meet her emotional needs without getting any emotional support in exchange for this? Unbalance is parasitic, not loving. A true Stoic warrior forbids his strength that such people can suck off who don't favorably influence his. Consider Epicurus's life, who was born into enslavement but never permitted the outside world to deplete his inner fortitude. In spite of his situation, he decided to focus his emphasis on developing tranquility. Fortitude and insight in your vitality must be safeguarded and focused on your higher objectives if she's depleting you. If she doesn't reciprocate, you have to take action. Firm and severe relationships that are highly valued. A woman understands the significance of balance. She'll make an investment in you as, no matter how much you spend on her, she won't take from you and not return it, either physically, spiritually, or emotionally. If you have nothing left to offer and are left empty, you can't keep going in the direction of warrior. You've heard about greatness, reality. You are aware of the signals. What you need to do is follow the Stoic man's way. Is not a concession of weakness or fear, is the way of wisdom and strength and dignity that you weren't born with. Tolerating rudeness in order to endure emotional weariness or a refusal to accept than you deserve. And your goal is obvious. Your time and energy are valuable. Limited, you have an obligation to be in the company of people, especially women who uplift you rather than deplete you. So I inquire if you are prepared to make a sacrifice. Your tranquility, your development, and your purpose for a person who doesn't respect you. You are superior to that, warrior. You are the master of something stronger than that. Let go of the poisonous people in your own life, partnerships that hinder your progress, and accept the freedom to develop and prosper. And now is your chance to live a purposeful life. Life is your fight. Don't waste it. One more look at someone who doesn't deserve your time act right away and cut the bonds that hold you back. Comment below stating that the challenge has been accepted. If you're prepared to leave the relationships that aren't beneficial to you, don't forget to ring the like, subscribe, and alert a bell warrior due to the path to greatness continues after this. Continue paving your way and providing protection. Your tranquility and continue to live with the Stoic's wisdom is to remain strong, true, and always proceed with objective.